Yeah. So please try not to share any sensitive information for people that will be asking questions. But yeah, we'll be recording the call and be sharing it with you afterwards. Okay. Um, yeah. Mercy, can you hear me?
Oh, yes, I can hear you.
Perfect. Thanks for honoring the invitation. I'm really happy. I've been on you for maybe 6 months or
Mm,
now, but yeah, I know it's PhD is very busy. It's not child's play, you know. But I do understand that it can be very difficult to juggle experiments with lab work and presentation classes and all of that. Yeah, but in the end, we made it happen. I'm happy. I'm proud of myself. Yeah. So, should we wait for a few more minutes or we should just get right into it?
yeah, I don't know. We can wait for some other. Did you send to
Yes.
those that did they get the link?
Yeah. Yeah. I sent a reminder again just now. Hopefully you saw it. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I know it's already late in Nigeria.
Yeah, it's already late. I also get that. So it's it's probably, it's later in my time.
Hmm. What time is it there?
It's 1 hour difference. So it's 1 hour
Oh,
in Nigeria. So 8:02 in Nigeria. But yeah, we have a global audience. So people from India, that's about 11 p.m. for them.
yeah.
11:30. Yeah, so but I can see many of them are many actually already here. So
Hmm.
um, in order not to waste their times as well. Yeah, we would get started in 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm. Mm. Okay. Um, we just have 1 more minute and get started.
How long is the session gonna be?
I wanted to make it 1 hour, but now it's 55 minutes. Interest. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm,
um, yeah.
Yes. Can
Do you have
start.
a, yeah, then we start right away
Mm,
instead of, yeah, I think we have enough population and whoever misses the introduction part can watch again. So
mm.
yeah, once again, welcome, Mercy. I'm
Yeah, thank you so much.
really happy to have you on board. Uh, so uh, currently we are on Agbayo. We are from Agbayo, right? I'm
Mm,
also introducing all of us here to you. So we are from Agbayo and we are a community of bioinformatics learners. But then the goal in the end is that after learning bioinformatics, what next, right? We
mm,
want to we want to empower people with the right skills with which they can move to the next phase of their career, right? Either in job positions or in graduate school positions, usually these two. And the graduate school positions have been really, really a thing where we've had a lot of success, especially in terms of people getting an extra edge over regular applicants that don't have computational skills. So this we are very proud of. And in order to help or to increase the conversion rate from Agbayo to grad school, we like to have this kind of interesting webinars and discussions where people can ask literally anything, and a an expert mentor can give them answers, the right answers. And that's why we have you here. So um, I'll just tell you a brief that I know about Mercy. So Mercy is a PhD student at University of West Virginia, if I'm correct. And she actually has a lot of social media presence. She has this, she won Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. I mean, I'm reading it. She's also, I think, she also like one of these MT Michael Taiwo ambassadors. I'm not
All
sure.
right, okay.
Yeah,
I
I a scholar as well. Yeah, so she has a lot of scholarships and awards in the past. So she's a big shot, and I'm very proud to have her on board. Um,
see.
Yeah, so, and she works in pancreatic cancer. So the interesting thing is also that the current Outbuy internship is cancer focused. So basically, people are trying to analyze cancer data sets. So maybe you can give us more insights as time goes on. But for now, we just want to have your opinions and your insights and your ideas about some of the best things about or some of the key things to take note of when trying to apply for graduate school applications. But before then, we would like you to still introduce yourself and tell us about your journey from Nigeria, how you navigated all of these multiple awards, and in the end, how is research, you know? If you can just do that 5 to 10 minutes.
Oh, that's the
It's a
thing.
long journey,
Okay.
I know. I know.
So I think one thing that really stood out for me was determination. Like I was really determined that okay, this is what I want. And as per grad school academics and all that, I was like, this is where I'm going. But then I had to like really work hard to make sure that I have the resources, I have the connections I need to at least get to where I'm going to. So one thing I'll tell people is to like leverage opportunities, relationships. You need people, of like minds. And that was what the ISI network helped me with.
Mm.
Because you have a lot of, like-minded people who are also very determined
Mhm.
pursuing grad school studies. They want to fly high in the academics, something. They want to fly in the academics. So, and I started like applying, before I even joined I started applying. It was not coming through. There was even one that I did that I had to like apply for West. And even till now, like I've not even gotten that West evaluation. Like everything was just somehow, at some point I was discouraged, rejections. But then I was like, no, this is where I'm actually going. And with God in the journey,
Mhm.
I I kept on pushing, and the goal has always been to like go to the United States. But then and that's another thing that really stood out for me. You should be flexible. You don't have to be like narrow-minded. Okay, this is it, or is this country? If it's not this country, nothing else. If it's not this scholarship, nothing else. You
Mm.
have to try a lot of opportunities. And so that was what I did. And eventually a friend of mine said, oh, Commonwealth, try Commonwealth. Yeah, after that I got the ISI scholarship. Then I met with other scholars that are also interested in grad school. So that kind of also helped me that,
Mm.
oh, if some people can be getting this, then on the page, we'll say, oh, this person traveled for PhD in this and that. This person traveled for PhD in this and that. I'll be celebrating and I'll be like, oh, very soon mine is coming, you know because when you're in the winning team,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of
It's
spread out,
infectious.
you know. So I I kept on pushing, and then I was also encouraged by the testimonies I was hearing from people who have traveled and people who are getting PhDs opportunities, masters, scholarships and all that.
mm,
So I just like, okay, I need to refine everything right now. I need to be flexible.
mm,
And so I started applying to Canada. I think I just applied to like one school in Canada. Then so a friend of mine told me about Commonwealth scholarship, and I was like, oh, this is I think it's a good one to try.
mm.
And so I went on Victor Aguga's YouTube channel, looked at all
Yeah, yeah, I know
he
that.
has said about the Commonwealth applications and all that. And then I was just sitting morning, night to write my essays. Commonwealth essays a lot. I
Mm.
think you have to write a lot of it, like up to 11 of the 11 prompts you have to write
Wow.
essay. So that's a lot of work. And I know that is what most people don't want to do. Like
I
you
see.
don't want to put in the work, but man, like nothing good comes easy.
Mm,
Success cannot be gotten on a platter of gold. Like it's gonna require your time, your commitments. At
mhm,
times you have to go hungry because you're focused, you're writing essays, and you don't just want to stand up from your seat,
mm.
you know. So I was writing, reviewing at the same time, submitted my applications with faith. I was like, okay, definitely it's gonna work out someday. And eventually the institution reached out to me that you were nominated for this. So for the Commonwealth shared, it's the UK school that have to nominate you. So you need to at least put in a very strong application for them to even consider you as a potential, candidate. Yeah. So for the Commonwealth Masters, Nigeria, maybe the federal government stuff will have to nominate you for that. But the UK school, these guys don't know you from anywhere. And you just want to put in the best of the best application. And so I kept on doing all that I needed to do. I went back to the Nigerian Institute of Medical Research. I was not getting any money. Eventually, I got on the research assistant role where I was getting some money, to sustain myself. But then the goal was not to look for a place that they'll be paying me. I just needed those skills to
The
put
goal
in
was
there.
bigger.
Yeah, so I can at least, get that competitive advantage. And so I started and then I worked with a lot of people, got some papers, due to the collaborations and all that.
Mm.
So, and then I applied. Eventually, I got in. I got some rejections because I think I applied to like three different schools, and the goal was that I'm not going to apply to schools that will require application fee because I've spent a lot of money in the past, and it was like nothing worked. But I was like, I'm not gonna pay any application fee. Any school that is gets collecting apply, I'm not doing. Like I'm done. And so I applied to those schools. So they gave me admission, like two of them gave me admission, but no Commonwealth nomination. And then the other school gave me admission with nomination. And that was how I traveled, you know, internationally, for the first time in my life, to the United Kingdom. And that kind of like opened the door to other opportunities. The ISI scholarship came, yes. The Commonwealth came, and then I started my application to United States.
Mm.
And then I saw even with my profile and everything, some of the schools I applied to still did not, give me the admission. But then there was a particular school in mind, which was the first one I applied to, and that was the one I got
Mm.
in. The other ones that I applied to, I think I applied to Duke University. They did not, offer me admission. But then I was not like I still kept on like, okay, this is what I want eventually.
Mm.
I just have to keep doing all that I need to do, keep applying, keep working so hard, you know. And I got in fact, I got the admission, the funding, everything in December of 2021.
I still remember.
Like, yeah, that 2021 was when I got to the UK.
Mm.
And I started my application during that time because when I resumed in September. The application window for 2022 already started.
Mm.
So I started applying, got called me for interview, In fact, like people were like, how did you even get the admission in that same year? Because most of the people usually get the admission everything the following year. Like the admission was quick, everything was like so fast. I was like, really?
Yeah, I think the masters in the UK is 1 year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. I get it. I see. Ah, nice, nice.
So,
Yeah, interesting story so far. Sorry, I will have to cut you short for now.
okay.
There are lots of questions, but because we told when people were registering for the webinar, we told them to drop in their questions, and the people on the internship we also told them to drop questions. So we have a lot of questions for you. Hopefully, we can't cover everything, I'm sure, but we try our best to prioritize the questions that cover maybe what every other person is asking. Before that, again, I would like to just tell the participants who are listening on the call that this is Mercy. So she's a PhD scholar at University of West Virginia, Virginia, sorry,
Virginia, West Virginia University,
West
yeah.
Virginia University. Okay, yeah. So she's currently doing a PhD, and yeah, like I said, she's a big shot. So it would be nice, I'm calling from Germany, right? And she's in the United States. So we'd like to also know where you are calling from. If you're from Nigeria, from Ghana, from India, from South Korea, let us know. Just drop it on the group chat. Yeah. So then I would start asking the questions. Looks like some people know you on the call. Someone called you. So yeah. Okay. Um, yeah. So I think there is a lot of questions about code mailing, sending code mails. I don't know if you have any comments or opinions or ideas about how to write proper
Coding.
mails. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So for cold emails, like you need to know who you're applying to. Like you need to know the faculty you're interested in.
Mm,
So we call it faculty, yeah. So you need to know the faculty you're interested in, and then you need to read about their work. That's very important because you want to, prove to them that, you have read. Most of them like it when you tell them about what they have done.
mm,
That's a big win. And then you don't have to say, oh, I am this and that, I am from Elisha, they don't need all those information. You need to start right a little, like a one sentence, introduction, and go straight into the point that, okay, this is why I am reaching out to you. This is what I've done in the past. These are the skills I've acquired. Then the next paragraph, you can talk about the person's work, talk about then now like connect that to your interests of what you want to really do. Do you understand? And let the person know that, okay, what I'm interested in is what you are doing at the moment, and you just want to look at some other areas still in this field. You get, and then you want to attach your CV, a very good CV, a good your whatever supporting documents you think you want to add to that. So I have like I don't know, okay. So there was this one that I usually send to people like I saw it on the academic Twitter,
mm,
and mm, um, so yeah, that's just the brief summary of, yeah, what you've done. Like I said, first paragraph, you want to talk about what you have done yourself, who you are. Please don't start by talking about you know, your town or something. Just talk about what you are interested in. Okay, I'm coming in for a PhD in biochemistry, to for this into this program, and I'm interested in your work, blah blah blah, and then talk about all that you have done in the past
mm,
and kind of connect it to what you really want to do. And
mm,
then talk about the professors. Okay, I read something about your work. These findings, kind of resonate with what I really want to build on.
mm,
In your code email, you want to also show that you're innovative.
mm,
You want to do more. You understand? You want to show that you can think, you
Mm,
know. You don't want to sound to the professor like, oh, this person does not know what he's doing or what she's doing. You get, you
mm,
want to sound like you really know what you're doing, and how you want to sound like you know the next level,
mm,
next step to take,
mm,
but then you don't have those skills, right? But still like prove to her that okay, I'm motivated and this is what I want to do. And
mm,
then you can just end it up with, okay, the school is this and that, and studying in this school will help me, fulfill my goals, fulfill my dream as so person, as I aspire to be, a PI someday or a professor someday. And then you just tell them, find attached, my CV, reach out to me if you have any if you have any question. You
mm,
understand? Yeah, so that should be the details of your CV. And please don't write your code email in the Word document and then attach it.
mm,
Write it like in your email. Open your email, dear professor, this and that, and write everything out. And then your subject has to be very catchy. It could be like maybe like an expression of interest in so program,
mm,
a grad student, something so because your subject should let the reader know what this is all about. Do you
mm.
get? Yeah.
Yeah, just a lot of people have been sending me messages that they want that. I mean, right here on Zoom, they want the thing you said you have on academic tutors. If you can just share the link, or you can send it to me directly, and then I send it
Yeah,
to
I'll
you.
send it to you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's really, I think that I like your approach to code email
Yeah.
because a lot of people just think it's about sending emails out. Some people can send 100 emails. I mean, and they use ChatGPT to write it. But uh,
Yeah.
it's better to be detailed
Also,
and
the
be
grammars must be, you don't use bad English. Review your code emails again and again.
yeah. One thing. So you told me you work at Naima. I
Mm.
Which of the groups did you work in?
I worked at the Central Research Lab. Then, during my IT, I kind of rotated in most of the labs there, like the TB lab, the molecular biology lab. Then when I
So,
went back, I worked in the Central Research Lab.
mm. So
So
how do all these experiences, research experiences, do you think they contributed to helping?
definitely,
Okay, so do you
like,
encourage people to also maybe not go to NIMA, but get research experience?
yes, they should.
Okay.
Because all these grad students, grad school, they'll tell you, "Oh, you don't need to have anything." But deep down, honestly,
Okay.
people that know some things, you get have some skills.
Mm,
Yes, you're coming to learn to handle skills, but you still need to know what you're doing, right?
mm,
So I would encourage that if you have opportunities to take internship positions, or to work somewhere that is relevant to what you intend to do in the future, I'll encourage you to take those opportunities. Like don't sleep on them.
mm. Okay. Yeah. So there is another trend of questions around people who are in the field, but they want to migrate or switch completely to something else.
Yeah, so if you are in a field that you want to switch completely, then you must have been doing something in that thing you want to switch to.
Okay.
Get and prove to and tell them, okay, this is what I've done in the past, but then I transition into this because of this and that. And this you want to show that you are doing something in that. Don't just say you want to switch. So what are you doing? What has motivated you to acquire up skills in that field, you get, in that new field or that new place you want to go. So you really want to show, honestly, about grad school, you want to show a track record. There should be a track record somewhere, somehow. You get that,
Hey,
okay, this person has actually been treading this path,
mm,
and you're so much motivated to like move on and all that. So there must be a track record somewhere, even if it's a new one. If you are a microbiologist and you want to go into computer science or software engineering right now, you must tell them that, okay, I've taken some courses in this field. I currently work in a software, whatever company. I do this and that. This is what I do. And I believe that, getting a master's in this program will really help me to acquire more skills and also like there must be a track record. Don't
Mm,
just say you want to switch to this field. You must prove to them, tell them why you
mm,
switch it and what you are doing currently.
mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thanks a lot for that response. I'll take some questions from Zoom. So this is kind of specific to the UK. So for PhD in the UK, before application, should contact the professor. Okay, I think we already discussed this. I think it's about code emails also. We already discussed this. So this is just a generic one. I have a PhD interview on Monday. I need your advice. I don't know.
Yeah.
You have general
For
interviews.
for PhD interview, what I would say is that they can ask you about your background. I don't mean where you're coming from. Like
Mm,
they will ask you about your background, like probably where you finished from. You want to tell them, okay, this is where I finished from. I finished with a first class, or you don't have to tell them that, okay, these are the research experiences that I've garnered in the past. This during my undergrad, I did this, I did that. Tell them about your projects, your findings, conclusion, next steps. Talk about whatever research positions you have also taken, probably like internships and all that. You also want to tell them that, okay, this is what you want to do in your PhD program. You intend to apply to probably the cancer research program or biochemistry program because of this and that. Talk to them about your skills, what the professor you're actually interested in, what you want to really do, long term, your
mm,
career goals, future plans, all those kind of things like that. So they might um those are the things you really want to like talk to them about. And
mm,
most importantly, you need to ask them questions. So you want to ask them questions about, okay, do you have funding? Is there funding? Do PhD students have to write grants? You want to ask questions,
mm,
thought-provoking questions. It could be, okay, what about conferences? Who sponsors that? You want
mm,
to ask them those kind of questions. You want to also talk to them about how you think you're gonna add value to the program, you know, um, doing research, writing papers for publications, you know, so that people can be aware of, what is going in the field.
mm,
Okay.
mm,
So those are questions that they are likely gonna ask you.
mm,
Then you really need to know what you want to do. It doesn't have to be, honestly, even if you tell them, oh, I'm interested in infectious disease, so person have done this, I intend to join this person lab. When you get into grad school, there are some programs that allow rotation, lab rotation.
mm,
You might look, see another lab that you think you like. You get. So just for the interview and just for everything, you want to at least be specific,
mm,
about what you want to do. Yeah.
mm. Interesting. Uh, yeah, that's
So I think I've answered that question. I think it's Uzo.
yes, it's Udogu Zuchuk or something like this. Yeah, thanks for your response, and we wish him the best of luck, hopefully,
Yeah.
and probably thank you later. Mm, I'll take another question from Opelua here. It says, if I have research experience in various institutes, both physical and remotely, do I have to put everything on my CV or I should strategically pick the experiences?
If he has had
So he had two experiences physically and two experiences remotely, research.
okay. Yeah. So what I would say, always put information that are relevant to grad school is different from you looking for job, you
Okay.
know. You want to put information that are relevant to what you intend to do in grad school. As a microbiology student, you want to do research in maybe infectious disease and you're currently working in a bank. You don't want to have bank experiences, right? So you want to put experiences that are relevant to what you want what you intend to do in grad school. So if the online experience is good to go on your CV, fine, add it. Add all the see, it's not only that is applying for this, opportunity. A lot of people who are qualified as you are applying for the same position. So it's a competition, you know. You have to give it your best shot. You have to put in everything. Don't lie in your CV. Don't lie, but you have to sell yourself. Like blow the trumpet very well. Even if it's one, maybe you worked in a small place, like make it look big, right? That's why I tell people to learn the art of storytelling. You
Mm,
know, you have to learn the art of writing to let it look like this is very good, So add those experiences, the online experience, add everything as long as it is relevant to what you are applying for.
mm.
You know, yeah.
Thanks a lot. Yeah. So, Apollo, I guess you got that. So don't put banking experience for a microbiology application. There is a rather niche question here. It's about nursing. I don't know if you have any experiences with that. So I am a registered nurse in Nigeria currently. Recently, I passed NCLEX. I don't know what that means. Now I have a new Mexico boarding board of nursing license. How do I get a scholarship for MSc or PhD scholarships in related health courses? So basically,
Yeah.
I think this person is coming from a nursing background.
Yeah. And the person is in Mexico, did you
Yeah,
say?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's very you can get scholarship opportunities. So some of all these countries, they have all these government scholarships. I've had people who have won government scholarships, Italian government scholarship. Probably there's a Mexican government scholarship. I don't know.
Mm,
But you can always Google all those information, like, okay, scholarship available in Mexico,
okay.
or scholarship. I don't know if this person intends to travel out of Mexico,
Mhm.
um, or a master's or a PhD. But as a nursing student or a nurse, a registered nurse, it's very possible to get scholarship, to study for a master's or scholarship or sorry, or PhD
Mm,
outside Mexico or in other countries or even in Mexico. Yeah, it's very possible. Just, look at those courses. It could be health management, it could be so thing. So what I would advise the person to do is go on Google, search for masters, scholarships in health related fields, fully funded. Put it there, fully funded.
mm,
There's something we call keywords. You
okay.
know, you want to put specific keywords when you're searching online. A lot of people will say, "Oh, I did not get what I'm looking for." Because you're not using the right keywords.
Mm,
Say you put fully funded masters or fully funded PhD program in health related fields in Mexico or in Italy or somewhere. You get a lot of feedbacks, and you get a lot of feedback, and you can just choose from Google that, okay, this is it. Click on it. Just some clicking, tweaks in your question, yeah, it's possible.
yeah, I mean, the next question I wanted to ask was how to search because there's another trend of questions around actually searching for schools and appropriate scholarship.
Mm.
Yeah. Also, can you talk about so I'm personally I have not gone through the US application system myself. So I really don't know much about it. But there is always this thing around graduate assistants, research assistants,
Yeah.
teaching assistants,
Yes.
all these things.
Mm.
How does that merge with PhD? And should you look for them instead of the PhD application, or how does it work?
Yeah, so this is the way it works in the United States. PhD programs are usually fully funded.
Okay.
Yeah, well, there are somebody told me, oh, it's not all of them that provide assistantships and all that. But most schools, when you go to the school website,
Mm-hmm.
always look for that information that okay, PhD is funded, fully funded. They will always write it there. And if you think you did not get that information, you can reach out to the grad school office.
Mm.
You get send an email to them, they'll respond. I've sent some couple emails on behalf of some people recently and they responded. So you want to know, okay. And then when I was sending emails, I was like, do you have funding for this program in masters in this social program? And they told me, okay, there's no funding, but if the person wants to, we have to apply for social. So they are going to give you a lot of information. Do you
Okay.
understand? So for PhDs, you might not get scholarships, all those like Italian Commonwealth
Mm.
scholarship. Way it works in is different, where you apply to get research assistant. Sorry, you get the research assistant position of teaching assistantships. So most people that come to the US come on teaching assistant. That's where they get their stipend from.
Mm.
Tuition, everything is taken care of. Health insurance, maybe part of it. And but stipend and everything comes from your teaching assistantship or your research assistant
Mm.
ship. For me, I got a research assistant position. That's where
Mm.
my stipend is coming from, which is still like I'm doing my dissertation project, even though you're driving research in that lab,
Mm.
because other research projects you want to work collaborate with other members in the lab to like do it, right? So that's why you get the research assistant position as well. Um, for teaching assistantship, you have to teach some undergrad classes, and that's where your stipend comes from. That's the way it works in the United States.
Mm.
For There is another thing called fellowships. For fellowships, you don't have to do any of that. You
Wow.
just keep getting your stipend and all that. So all this, and then there are actually some schools that still give scholarship. You
Okay.
get, but normally you still get your fully funded research assistant position and everything, but they can give you additional scholarships like maybe John West scholarship for doctoral students, who are just coming into the United States, something like that. So you need to really do your research, look into those schools. But when you're coming to the US for your PhD program, it's usually automatic funding,
Mm.
research assistant or teaching assistantship.
Mm.
It's either of them, and it's automatic. While some schools still say you need to apply
Okay.
for example, if you are coming for a master's. I know
Mm.
for master's program, it's not always automatic. You need to apply for a graduate assistantship, which is separate from your application. So you might have to reach out to the grad office of that program and tell
Mm.
them, how do I get teaching assistantship? Because that's where your stipend will come from, right? So you need to reach out to the grad office and tell them specifically, okay, I want to apply for teaching assistantship. How do I go about it?
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. So master's applicants or master students can also get a teaching assistant. Okay.
Yeah, they can
I
also
used to
get.
tell people that they should rather go for the PhD directly because the masters maybe they have to work by themselves or like
No,
so.
I've had people who have gotten funding and
Ah,
fully paid
okay.
offers for masters in the United States.
Then I'll correct myself. I'll correct myself. Okay. Uh, I would. I mean, I'm giving priority to the questions I received on the application form. Mm, but let me quickly come back to Zoom. Looks like we have some. From Iyabo Shitu. Please share your experiences on graduate school journey. I think we already did this. Which
Yeah.
resources did you reference when you drafted your SOP that won you the Commonwealth Scholarship? Also, please share tips on how to draft an award-winning essay. Okay. I mean, looks like repetition. Maybe if you want to answer.
Yeah, because I've mentioned some of these things.
Mm.
So, but I was just re-emphasize on some things that I think are key to your application. Like you want to take internship positions, like right now you want to at least start doing some, even if it's course work, like all these online courses,
Mm.
you want to I think the problem some people have is the writing part of it, how to really put the stories together.
Mm.
You know, number one, to get scholarship, you cannot just come from somewhere and say, oh, somebody should invest in me. Like, just give me those millions, thousands of dollars, so millions, 44,000 pounds, which is like billions of naira, and say, oh, just do this for me. You have to show track record of um like something that you have also like done in a way to help other people.
Mm.
You know, you have to do good. You have to be good to people. You have to be nice to people. You have to volunteer. You have to be selfless, even as a person. If you are looking for something like scholarship, one thing about that most people won't tell you is that you just need to be good. You need to also be selfless.
Mm.
You know, you need to have volunteered. You need to have gone out of your way to help other people. That's how good things come to you. You get, because they really need to. That's why they will ask you, oh, volunteering. They will ask you, what have you done? I've forgotten the way they put those prompts, but they can ask you, okay, what leadership positions have you taken? What volunteering position? It's usually there for scholarship essays. Like, it's usually there. So you want to also volunteer. Any opportunity to volunteer, take it. Like, take those opportunities. If it's leadership positions, take it, because even as a leader, nobody's paying you for it, right? But you are also doing the work to at least make sure things are in order. You know, that alone is selfless service, right? So those are one of the key things, like, because I volunteered a lot. Even till now, I'm still volunteering. Volunteering is good,
Mm.
because even if you don't, have what it takes, even with your selfless service and everything, they see that, oh, this person really have the heart to give back, have
Mm.
the mind to give back, to share this, to share that. And they are also like, okay, let me do this for this person. That is when you see people invest in you, like thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, just to make sure that you are also fine,
Mm.
because you are doing this for other people.
Mm.
Another thing is that you need to show a track record of, like, a kind of motivational kind of thing, like you are motivated to do this. So you really showing a track record in the sense that you're taking internship positions in that area.
Mm.
You're doing some research undergrad, or you're kind of working on your undergrad project and make sure it gets published you
Mm.
know so you really want to, like, put in a lot of efforts. Like, even if you finish from a polytechnic or something, you want to do West evaluation. You also want to, show that some the thing is that people don't want to work. They don't want to put in that extra effort.
True.
They just
True.
want to be at the comfort of their house, and somebody does the admission and fine. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. You need to work very hard.
Mm.
Write your essays, sit down, take, volunteer, take leadership positions, reach out to people, build relationships, because you need those recommendation letters now.
Mm.
Be nice to people, be good to people. That when they want to recommend you, they are very happy to do it, because they see that this person is serious, this person is very good, this person is intelligent, she's smart, she's doing her work, she doesn't leave anything behind, because those are the things they will say about you, you
Mm.
know. And recommendation letters, go a very long way in your application.
Mm.
So you really need to know what you're doing. And so those are the things that really got me the scholarships. And those are the things that have really helped me, to the position I am in today right now. So also, God in the journey, don't forget God,
Mm.
that cannot, overemphasize, because you really need to make sure that you're treading the right path, you know. And with God, you know that, okay, this is where I'm going, and God is helping you journey. Yeah. And then you'll be fine.
You'll be fine. Okay. One more question. So what are the steps towards finalizing a grad school application. If a potential advisor tells me to mention his name and lab in my SOP while applying, is it some sort of good news?
Yes,
And when is
that's
the
good.
best? Okay, yeah. So let's take it one by one. This last one, is it a good news if a potential advisor tells me to add his or her name in my SOP while applying?
Yeah, it is good news.
Okay.
Add the person's name.
Add the person's name then.
Probably, yeah, person interested in taking in the lab.
Okay. When is the best time to submit considering priority deadline? I don't know.
So the best time to submit priority deadline, well, you need to know what the deadlines are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there are two deadlines, but
Also don't
it-
know.
yeah, you want to make sure that you submit before the deadline, like a week before, 2 weeks before, because it's though some people do, is it they call it rolling, is it rolling
Rolling
cycle?
application was rolling, yeah.
Yeah. So as the applications are coming in, they are going through your work. You
Mm,
get so that I think that's most schools do. As you're submitting the application, they're also going through everything.
mm,
So you
mm,
want to make sure that your application is one of those that came in early so that they can really get back to you in time,
mm.
tell you what the decision is so you can move on with life. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Um, I saw some hands raised up. In 3 minutes, if you would like to ask like a direct question, like with your mouth, basically, you can raise your hand and I would ask you to unmute and you can talk. Um, okay. I'll come back to Zoom. So can you apply to Commonwealth simultaneously with the school application?
Yeah, so what I advise people to do is to apply to the school first because I think in Commonwealth essay application, they will ask you, have you gotten admission from the school? Or
Mm,
if you said yes, that's some sort of good news, right?
mm,
So, and they can say, okay, this person have gotten admission. Let's see how we can help this person out with funding you know. So you want to apply to the school first. It's very easy. I think UK schools, like the application is not that long at
mm,
all. Just make sure that you take time to write your SOP and then you submit your application. Other supporting documents that you think you want to add, certificates or anything, relevant certificates. You took a bioinformatics training or you went to a conference, or you did a poster presentation somewhere,
mm.
or you submitted an abstract. Write it there, like put all those things there. Nobody knows what you've achieved except you tell them, right?
Yeah.
So you just need to mention all those things there and you'll be fine, honestly. And then for Commonwealth shared application, you can apply to as many schools as you want. I know of somebody that applies to like 19 schools. Some persons go as far as applying to 20. I don't know how they do it. I honestly cannot do it. But if you have a strong application, why not? If you have the time, you have everything, you are ready, like you're shooting your shot right away. Just submit those applications, to as many as you can. For
Mm,
masters at Commonwealth Masters, you have to apply to three. Commonwealth Shared, which is still a master's program, but it's different from the Commonwealth Masters. For the Commonwealth Masters, your country has to nominate an organization your country has to nominate you. There are some of those organizations here on the website, like Farware, Ali Network,
mm.
Federal Government Scholarship Board, you know. But for the UK school, you can apply to as many as you can. And definitely, if your village people are not going after you, at least one should give you good
We
response.
should work. Okay. Um, I'll just ask one more question, then I'll take the people raising hands. So the first one is okay, this is just the last one. I'll say, how do you follow up on professors after sending a cold email?
Yeah, so I know there was a time when I was applying to University of Manitoba
Mm,
that I was reaching out, but then that was during COVID, and then the professor responded, really interested in working with me, but Some of them were giving their money to COVID,
mm,
response, trying to like make sure that the situation does not get worse, trying to take care of that situation. So the person was, you know, responding to my follow-up email. So one thing I would say is that you don't you don't get to the point where you start disturbing them with emails. Give
mm,
them like a time, like a you can give them 2 weeks, you get, before you follow up on that email, or 3 weeks. Some of them are very busy.
mhm,
I want to give them time to like, to get their schedule free somewhat.
mm.
The question was how to follow up on an email,
Yeah,
right?
how to follow up, yeah.
Yeah. So just, after you send the email, give like 3 weeks or 2 weeks,
Mm,
send back to them that same email. Don't open another email. Go back to that one you sent and just tell them, okay, I'm reaching out to remind you of this and that. Persistence is actually key.
mm,
Once you every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks, you're sending some follow-up emails. Whereas person is like, this one I'm getting, let me pay attention to this person. But then there are some schools that allow lab rotation, so you don't need to reach. It's good if you have a professor,
mm,
because it's gonna be straightforward. You just mention the person's name and they send your application to that person. It's gonna be straightforward. But then there are some schools like the one I did, I didn't apply to. I honestly, sending emails to professors can actually be discouraging because some of you don't even get a response from them. So for me, I just like, okay, see how the schools have lab rotations. I just submitted my applications, my application to those schools, and I got responses from some of them and some I did not. So yeah,
okay,
2 weeks, 3 weeks, give time for them to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I will invite Olua Fisayo Abodurin to unmute and ask a question if she's still there.
Hi, Mercy. Thank you so much for this session. Bless you.
Yeah,
I'll just go
thank you.
straight to your grades. Like, do you think your grades made way for you? Like, was it part of what made your application successful? I'm not talking of your PhD alone, but from inception.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for that question, Officer. Good question.
Sorry, I didn't hear the question actually. Can you just?
Great. She asked about, like, she said if grades actually made my application stand out,
What is great?
right from inception, right from when I started applying, if I think, my
Great.
grades,
Okay.
yeah, if my grades actually stood out for me and also like puts, made my application, competitive. Well, I would say, one thing, I know I have a problem with some first class students where they say, oh, I finished with 4.9 on a scale of 5.0, finished 4.8. I actually finished the first class,
Mm,
but then even with first class, I was applying and I didn't get, the admission, right? If application were to be given to first classes, how many first classes they would have gotten admission without applying to so many schools.
mm,
So some first class students feel like, oh, their grade is enough for them, but it doesn't work that way.
mm,
Grad school don't really look at, oh, you finish the first class, then you must have that brain, you must be very smart. Yeah, some of them are smart, but honestly, some people we don't even know how they got it. So the way you how you want to now prove that, okay, you're a bright student, you're a brilliant student, is that you you are doing something in that path, you're showing them that, okay, this is really good, there's a track record there. So great for me, yes, it's part of it. Honestly, if I will advise people, if you can work very hard to come out with a very good grade, it doesn't have to be a first class. It could be a 2 4 on a scale of 5.8, 4 point something on a scale of 5. There are some tutor students that are getting scholarships, right? But they've put in the extra work, you know. So it doesn't have to be grade. For me, grade definitely was part of it. But then I had additional things. I went for internship, did my IT somewhere in Nigeria at the Nigerian Institute of Medical Research, took in volunteering roles, went to attended webinars, online conferences. I joined associations, like association of microbiology, so association of this and that. You also want to you also want to be a member of some of these associations because it's gonna also help your application, awards that you've gotten in the past, you know. So those are the things that made my application student, not just grade. Because if it were just to be first class, then most first class students should have gotten scholarships and everything. They don't even have to try. They have to just do it once and get in. But it doesn't work that way. So aside grade, yes, it was part of it. But then even if you did not finish with a good grade, even if you finish with a 2-2, you can still prove to them that you are a brilliant student. You really want to do you are focused. And the way you can do that is to take more online courses, do a lot in that field, write in your essay, this is it. I've attended this school, I've presented at this and that. Maybe you took a master's position somewhere, or we're probably doing a master's just to augment, what you've done at your bachelor's. So it doesn't grade alone. Yes, it was part of it, but it's not really it's like just grade. It's part of it. If I advise undergrad student, tell them make sure you do well in school, come out well, finish with a good grade. But then that is part of it, but then not the overall thing to judge that okay, this person is bright.
Well, I didn't get a first class, so yeah.
And you're in Europe, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's
So I'll take the final person. Ogechi. I would ask you to unmute Ogechi Cecilia.
okay. Somebody is asking me why I had taken a master's position somewhere. Um, well, some persons because they finish with a low grade, they went on to maybe probably Nigeria. They started a master's program. Yeah, because that can also make your application strong. If you did a good research during your master's or you did well in your master's program, some people just do that. While some people do West evaluation and do so many other things to add to the application so that they can stand that competitive advantage.
Yeah, true. To everybody requesting, asking me about the recordings, definitely will make it available. Um, Either through your email. Yeah, we'll definitely send it to your email. We'll share it directly to your email. So um, everybody gets a copy. Don't worry. Everybody gets a copy. Uh,
Somebody is raising a hand.
yes, Cecilia. I already asked her to unmute. I don't know.
Um,
Yeah,
good good evening. Thank you so much for this wonderful section. So, where my question is coming from is actually in drafting my statement of purpose. Okay, so I've kind of cultivated research experiences, and then where my issue is that so I have a non-profit, and in that non-profit, I started integrating a research group where we carry out baseline survey and quantitative analysis in the community that I base in, mostly on maternal health and integrating machine learning in that. Now, I am the research head of that group and I have my teammates. So I want to know, like, it's kind of a research lab. Do you understand? Am I to talk about that in my statement of purpose, or will it look like something that we is as if I'm shooting myself in the leg? Because what I'm actually applying for PhD is the same in like it's aligned with what my foundation is doing in the research lab. But is it like selling myself too much, or I don't know? Am I to include it in my statements of purpose or not?
Yeah, so there's nothing like you're selling yourself too much. You you're not the only one applying for this PhD program. You get, and you are the only one that know what you've done,
Mm,
what you're doing at the moment. A lot of people who are as qualified as you are also applying for the same position. You get. So if you have a non-profit organization, that's a good one. And then you're doing research, you have a research group that shows team management. It's not all about, I asked, so during my interview for my PhD, and they said, I asked them, okay, so what do you expect? So what are your expectations of a grad student? Like, what do you expect from grad student? And the person said, you just want to prove to us that you're motivated, and you also want to, you know, yeah, the person was just like, you just want to show us that you're motivated to do it. You have a good teamwork, spirit. Like you can manage people because you'll be in a lab someday, you have a lot of people with you. Are you able to manage these people? So those are those things, those subtle things that you want to add, right? That can really go a long way in your application. So if you're actually managing a research group because of your enthusiasm or for research or your curiosity, you want to add all those things, like add some other catchy things with, don't just say, oh, I'm in a research group right now, we're doing some things and that. You want to show how that is relevant or how that relates to what you'll be doing in grad school. Probably not the research you'll be doing in grad school, but how that is preparing you for grad school. Do you get a point? So you
Mhm.
could attach that to relate that to team management, you could relate that to a lot of things, leadership and all that, how you're able to like manage a group, you know, based on this research, which is kind of preparing you for what you'll be doing in grad school and the lab you also be joining in grad school. And then you are able to manage people, you're able to relate to people well, you know, you're motivated, and that's why you set up this research group, because that is eventually what you want to do in your PhD program and afterwards.
mm.
So there's a way you write it that really tells a very good story. And yeah, it's very
Mm.
good. That's a very good point.
Yeah, looks like we are 3 minutes ahead, but yeah, I would like to say, yeah, I would like to say thank you very much, Mercy.
Yeah.
Mm, do you want to take the last question?
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about it's I'm currently doing my MSc in Nigeria and I intend to apply for PhD in the US. Unfortunately, I won't have my transcript or any evidence of my master's grades by the application deadline. Do you advise I still mention my MS in my application, though it is not a requirement for application, or should I just exclude the information completely?
Yeah, I've had some people who finish with 2-1 and they're in the years.
Okay.
So you don't, like, for me, when I was applying, yes, I was on my master's program. I mentioned it to them. I'm currently doing my master's and scholarship based on, I'm currently doing my master's. This is what I'm doing. This is what I've done, and this is what I intend to do for my research. So I stated all that in my application,
Mm,
and then I still used my BSc transcript. So technically, it's like I came in, all the way from BSc to a PhD program. Do you understand? Because my master's was not incorporated. In fact, I had not even gone halfway to my master's program before I got the PhD admission. So you can use that second class thing. Make sure your CV is good. Tell them what you're doing at the moment, master student, and this is why you want to do a PhD.
mm,
If I must say, if you're applying to grad school, just let them know that you're thinking research. You're thinking, you're innovative. You're thinking of ways to go about things differently. Do
mm.
you get? That's what they really want to see in your write-up, in your application. Yeah. So you can go ahead to apply for a PhD with your BSc transcript. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks a lot. I really, really also enjoyed the conversation, and I think I learned a lot, especially issues with the master's thing that being yeah, that they also get graduate assistantship. And yeah, a lot about code emailing, a lot about writing to professors, of course, and preparing your CV, not overselling yourself. Yeah, for the person that mentioned something about overselling, I also used Akbar in my application, so and it made me stand out. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, thanks a
If you
lot.
have a YouTube channel where you talk about grad school, where you help people, add it there. Like those are pointers. You really want to write everything, good. Yeah.
Hey, yeah, thanks a lot once again, Mercy. I really, really do appreciate your coming to the meeting. On behalf of everybody that came, we say thank you. Hopefully, we have another time to have another interesting conversation, maybe next year. Yeah, but yeah, a lot of questions are also coming about possibility of you being able to review. I understand grad school is a lot, uh, but up to you. If you want to review things for people, should they reach out to you, or uh, how do you work about that?
Yeah, so currently I'm not accepting essays for review.
Okay.
Probably next month I can, but now I'm not.
Okay.
So I've had some backlogs where I had to like
Exactly.
settle all that, but
Exactly.
I'm not reviewing
Okay.
now.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks a lot, then. We really appreciate, and yeah, we wish you best of luck also in your PhD. And we know it's a lot of work. Yeah. Hopefully, in I don't know how many years you've spent now, but in the required amount of time, we'll come and celebrate with you in the United States.
Yeah, so
The people
thank
on
you.
this call will be around, and they will come and remind you of some of the things you told them. And thank you once again for uh, yeah, talking to us today. We really appreciate it. Okay. Yeah, on this note, I will say bye and a very good evening to everybody.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you. Yeah.